Okay, cool. Now recording has been started. And meanwhile, if you have any questions or queries, feel free to ask. Okay, within that, no issue. Okay, so when I say about the basics, right, this is our UiPath Studio screen. Okay, UiPath has three components. Okay, one is Studio, another one is Orchestrator, another one is Robot. Okay, so when someone asks you, tell me the components of UiPath, that is three: Studio, Robot, and Orchestrator. When I talk about Studio, Studio is something where we develop our process. Okay, that means where we write the script. Okay, and when I talk about orchestrator is something that is we deploy our process to orchestrate something. Orchestrator have so many functionalities, like it is on anyhow cloud. You code in some another machine and you can deploy it to the orchestrator. You can use in any other machine. Okay, that process and do. And whereas you can schedule your process, you can run your same process onto the multiple machines. So there is a different flavors of orchestrator that in depth we can see it later. Since this is the studio class, I'll let you know, stick to the studio. And another one is robot. Robot is something which help studio to run the process. Okay, studio to write the code, and to run that code, you need a help from a robot. Okay, when I say robot, robot is nothing but a assistant. Okay, uh, okay, let me type assistant, UiPath assistant. Can you see this UiPath assistant? So this is the our robot. Okay, clear up to this? Okay, I wanted bit interactive, so can anyone can say yes or no or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let me, okay, when now people ask how many type of like files are there or something like that, right, to be used. Like there is one process, there is one library, test automation, leave it, people will, and there is one robot framework. Okay, transaction process, or people will ask. Okay, so you can say process is just nothing but a blank process. Okay, when I say it's a blank process, it's just like you, when you click you create, you won't find anything in the project. I'll choose the blank process, so I will show you. Another is like transaction process, means when you choose it, you will get a flowchart drag and dropped over there. Okay, and another one is RE framework that people usually, did anyone saying something? Okay. So, and another one is RE framework, which people generally ask you the question. That also I will show you what sort of the, I'll not go in depth, but as per the interview wise, I'll show you what questions ask and how to answer that and how to tackle that. Okay. So, okay. First, we'll talk about activities. Okay. Let me choose a process. You can name test. I usually give test interview. Okay. And you just create it. So the moment when I'm going to choose this, I will not get any file dragged and drop over there. It will be just like blank. Okay, did anyone would like to tell me by default what automation do what we call this UiPath supports? It's like sequence by default it will get, or it will get what we call flowchart.
Sequence.
Exactly, the sequence. So when and nothing is there, and suddenly if any activity you drag and dropped over here, so automatically UiPath will create one sequence, and inside that sequence your activity will be dragged and dropped. Okay, this is one. Another important thing is like there is an activity. Okay, then okay, let me just first tell you this main to this block, right? This is a workspace pane. Okay, when I say workspace pane means whatever your flowchart, whatever your things you do code, everything with it will come over here. Okay, when I say this is your properties pane, where the properties of that particular activity will come over here, and this is your activities pane. Okay, activities pane is something if you want to drag and drop any activity, or you have to use to create your flowchart. For example, there is a website I want to automate where I need to type into username, password, and then click on submit. So you will choose type into from activity, and then another type into you will choose, because this is for username, this is for username, another one is for password, and then you hit enter to the click. Okay, so likewise, so these are kind of a pains. Okay, now the people, those who have already and actually worked, they know the difference between all the properties, because they might have worked and they might have used, so they know. Where people lack means, if you go for an interview, generally interviewer may ask you about the properties, but you didn't have that much practical knowledge, so you may like think like what is that or what is not. So understanding of the properties is must for the activities. Okay, so when I say understandings means, if you see every activities has the different properties. So let me delete one type into, let me keep these two. There is a one activity called type into, there is another activity called click. Type into is useful when you are typing something, whereas click is used where you have to click. Okay, if you can see, few properties of type into and click is same. For example, um, since I am using what we call, here you can see I'm not sure, since mine is the latest version, so the things are changed. For you guys, you may be having a two options here: simulate click and send windows messages. Okay, when you say the simulate click hardware events, windows messages, or same as app or browser, so they will ask you what is the difference between all those things. Okay, the major differences between simulate and send windows message, that what people generally ask, that one should know. That means these both are the background what we say, the sorry, background automation. They will support the background automation, whereas by default UiPath always support the foreground automation. Okay, when I say foreground automation means you haven't unchecked anything, means you haven't select anything. Okay, but if you want something to run at your background, like some application is open and you want to run it somehow here, in that case you have to select either simulate or either send windows messages. Okay, got it.
Got it.
Okay, cool. Another question they ask, if they both are background, simulate and send windows messages, then what is the difference between these two? Okay, that is another question comes from an interview. That what you have to say is like, the difference between these two is like, simulate is faster than send windows messages, one. And another difference is, simulate doesn't support hotkeys, whereas send windows messages supports the hotkey. And when I say hotkey, so for example, if you are taking an example of type into, okay, and if you can see here, we do have like we like enter, backspace, page up, page down. These are the hotkeys. Means basically these are the Windows keys. Okay, if you do use that, if you have checked the simulate click, right, it will not work. It will take it as a text, because it's in double quotes. Whereas if you are going to use send windows messages, right, in that case it will be taken as a keys. So if this says the escape, right, so it will not type escape in wherever you are typing, whereas it will perform the escape key. Okay, so the main difference is, send windows and window simulators. Simulate doesn't support the hotkeys, whereas windows message will support the hotkeys. Okay, this is the one people do ask. And another important what people ask, and what one should know, that is about this timeout ms, this one. Okay, so people generally ask what is basically timeout. Okay, timeout is basically the by default time of an activity. Okay, and these are generic properties for all. If you click on the click, right, here also you will get like timeout. Okay, and here also you will get input method. So what I'm telling about the generic, which almost have all the activities. Okay, so another question asks, what is timeout? First, you tell in a way that timeout is something, is a by default time of an activity to perform some task. So for example, by default time is 30 seconds. Someone is telling, or someone can go on mute. So timeout is something you can like, it's a by default time of an activity. Okay, by default is 30 seconds. Okay, maximum you can do any amount, 1 hour, 2 hours, 60 seconds, 50 seconds. 1 hour, 2 hour basically we don't do. But if someone asks like what is the maximum time limit we can give, so you can tell we can give any maximum time limit. And if someone will say what is the minimum we can give, then it's a zero. You can provide it zero. That means it will, in like one matter of span it will work and it will go ahead. Okay, so this is
Hello, Rashmi.
hello.
Hello, Rashmi. I have a question about related timeout. If we are using a browser or we use browser activity and there is a timeout option, right? We are performing on website multiple actions and we have given a 1 minute timeout. And then if suppose if time is exceed, then what will happen
If
at that?
okay, if time exceeds like 1 hour, till 1 hour this activity will work. Basically if you're typing something right somewhere, till 1 hour it will wait, but if that element will not appear into the screen, you will get an error. It will throw some error. If you have done any exceptional handling, in that case you might it might save you. But if you haven't done any exception handling or something like that, you will get an error like prompt message stating that this element is not present or something like that.
Okay, thank you, Rashmi.
Um, Thanks. So this is the one, and the time limit I already told. By default, you should know always, because interviewer usually ask what is the by default time of the timeout. That is 30 seconds. Okay, and 3000 milliseconds. You can tell. So these about the properties and the activities. Okay, and
Sorry, Rasmi. Sorry to interrupt. Can you please explain this delay after and delay before also, because I get confused between delay after and delay before, and this timeout. These three things. Can you please
Go-
explain?
got it. Let me explain you delay after and delay before. Okay, so when we, okay, there are two activities I have taken here: type into and click. Okay, so delay after and delay before, what they do is like by name itself, you can identify it is saying something. Once you performed any action, after that wait for some time. Okay, for example, I have typed somewhere ABC. Okay, after typing ABC to that particular position, you should wait for 5 seconds, for example. I have given I guess if it is taken seconds, you can write in 5. It takes in milliseconds, you can make it 5000 something. Okay, so delay after for 5 seconds. That means after typing ABC, wait for 5 seconds. Do you know the concept of sleep, right? Sleep or
Yes.
delay something. So it's like same. Delay means wait. You are explicitly telling them wait for 5 seconds after typing. And before means before executing this ABC, wait for 5 seconds. First wait and then go.
Okay.
You get so
Will it work? Yes, means it will work as this means the definition of both are same. I think, because you are saying writing a thing after that it will wait 5 seconds, and
okay.
writing a thing before 5 seconds, then it gets same, right?
Okay, wait. Let me show you. Like you have to wait. The motto is same, but when to wait, that you are telling here. Like you have to wait after, or you have to wait before executing this uh, activity, or after executing this activity, that you are telling.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Application.
If we use these three things at a time, means timeout with these delays, which one will work? Both will work, or the single thing will work?
Okay, it's
Means
a
delay
nice.
after, delay before, and timeout.
Got it. It's a very nice question. So that's why you have to understand the concept. So timeout will work always. It's a by default. Okay.
Mhm.
Timeout has no relation between delay after and delay before. Okay. Neither delay after and delay before have the relationship. I can define all three. So I have given 20 seconds time. Okay. By default is 30. I've given 20 seconds. Delay after and delay before, I have given 5 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, so it takes in seconds. So let me give 5000. So what it is saying is right now is like what happened is like, if in notepad, if I'm typing something, let me just open a notepad for you guys. Okay, here if you want to type this ABC, okay, so what, as per the as per the properties of these activity, what happen is like you have to wait after you, sorry, first it will come here, it will check for before, means before typing ABC, wait for 5 seconds. Your bot will stay, it will wait for 5 seconds. After 5 seconds it will type ABC, and then it says wait for after 5 seconds. Okay, it will wait for after 5 seconds, and this timeout is something, it will for example, your notepad is not open. Okay, you're supposed to write over in that notepad and your notepad is not open, so this timeout is will wait for 20 seconds to let the notepad get open. If notepad is not open, you will get straightforward, you will get an error, like you are trying to open that. So there is no relation between these two, but they have their own separate meanings.
Okay. Means it's a default timeout is default, but this delay after delivery will work anyhow. It is mandatory, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
this de- this delay after what we call, this is by default. If you don't mention anything, for example, if it is 0, correct, that means by default it will be 30 seconds. Okay, it says 30
Okay.
seconds, but if you make them 0, means they are 0, they are 0 only, they don't have any by default time in there.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, people actually make you confused only because these things will come when you do practice now, then you will get to know like how to do. So these are the basics and very minute things which one should know, and they can get to know once they do practice and do. The more you will play around with the properties, the more you will learn. Okay, and there is one more, this is the, I think common, continue and error. And one more thing, nobody can should know all the activities and all the properties once they are going for an interview. Okay? So one thing you have to mind, UiPath has named their activities in such a way that by name only you may can guess, and you may can easily correlate like how, for which activity this is being used and for which activity this is not. Okay, so if I say continue on error, right? So if you check this property, means you will not get an error. If you check means on, so by name itself it says continue on error, if you get an error means continue. Okay, so for example, if timeout might have waited for 20-30 seconds, whatever time is given here, but if it will throw an error, means it after 30 seconds, it will not found, it will throw an error, right? So if you have checked this property continue on error, means your program will not get stopped, whereas it will move further. But if you have unchecked this, means your program will get stopped there and you will get the error there itself. Okay.
Another question: if we click this activity continue and on error, and we keep it in try and catch, will it work?
Mm-hmm. Okay, continue that. Okay, if you have pressed this okay, for example, this activity is there and you have surrounded this with try and catch. Okay, you have made it as a continue and error, that means it will not go to catch now.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just
It
okay.
will not go to the catch since you have already bypassed the error. Try catch is basically to bypass the error only, but you have already bypassed the activity level, like properties
Yeah.
level, so it won't go to the catch. But that's why it's not recommended to make it all true, because it will bypass the error and you may not get the logs and you may not get to know like which activity is throwing an error or something. Whereas if you haven't checked, you have used the try catch, you can get the logs and you will get to know like if you have defined particular exception or if you have just defined the exceptions. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Okay, so this is one. And another thing about, yeah, for try catch also people do ask what is the difference between try, catch and finally. Okay, so there is a very minute difference between try, catch and finally. Try is something you try for something. Okay, you are trying to execute some activities over there, okay? But if that activities got fail or you might got an error, in that case it will go to the exception part, okay? Means you are handling that. If anything is happening into that, sorry, anyone is saying? Guys, if you're not speaking, then you guys can go on mute. Okay. So try something, you try for something, whereas if you find an error, you come to the exception part, you log that exception, or you want to do whatever you do it that in exception part. Finally is something which will execute all the time, okay? Doesn't matter you are coming directly from the try, or doesn't matter you are coming from the catch. Finally is something which will execute always. You may get an error, you may not get an error. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is the one. This is about the properties, and this is about the try catch, and like rest they will ask you about the API thing and the database activity. I'll tell you how to prepare. Okay, you just type API. Okay, there is only one activity when it comes to API. Okay, that is coming from Orchestrator, but I think I need to install a package. There is like HTTP request is there. Okay, so this is the another one, but that activity is another one. So there is only one activity, so you can Google what HTTP requests do. You have to provide the API, and then you will get a result in a JSON format. Okay, always see the outputs also. Like for example, if I'm saying this activity, if I'm using, what output I'm getting. Okay, for example, if I'm taking the get text, right? Get text is basically to get the text from the website. What is the output it returns? It return me a string. Okay, it return me a string means then after that you can do a manipulations. Usually people will ask about get Outlook mail messages. Get Outlook mail messages as a output. What will it return? It will return you the list of mail messages. That means you will get the list, and that list further you can go ahead and you can iterate it with the for each or something like that. Okay, you can use for each. For each, and then you can iterate it. So output also you should know. And if no need to go in depth or something like that, but before going in interview, just like I'll tell you one thing. People, first thing, the properties they do ask, that I already told you. Second thing, another thing what people ask is like about, have you worked with database, have you worked with APIs? Then do say yes, we have worked with APIs, we have worked with database. What you want to know is like the activities, what activities are there. When I say database, you just type database over here. Okay, and you have to basically download, go ahead and manage package and download those packages. There is very few like active, there are I think 4 or 5 activities are there. Basically the generic activities what UiPath is having. Okay, that like do connections, remove connections, and what sort of activities, execute query, execute non-query. So just read about these 4 activities, then you will be good. And for API there is only one activity, you can go ahead and read about that. Properties is the one. Okay, and that's it. People generally don't ask much about this thing. Another do they ask about let me show you for the data. Yeah, if you can see, these only the activity. The insert, connect, disconnect. By name itself, if I say connect means for connections, disconnect is for disconnect. For execute non-query, execute query, insert. You can Google like a bit what these activities do, and what there are so many good YouTube videos are there. Just hardly 5-10 minutes. So if you go through with this, so you can get it. So never say like no, we haven't worked. You can go ahead and say like we have worked. So that will help you. Okay, and another important thing, since I think we have like 7 minutes left, so let me just fatafat tell you about the RE framework. RE framework, I might assume that you all might have gone through and you might all know what RE framework is, okay? But how to tackle and how to have a how to tackle and how to use. Okay, Vipul, I'll answer your question just now. I saw. Give me a second. Okay, so what people do ask is like, okay, don't get confused since I made so many transactions over here. Usually you have like this only. Okay, so I might assume like you know what is init do, get transactions is doing, and process, and this is there. If you want a detailed walkthrough of this, that also let me know in the comments so that I'll make a day for this so that I can explain you these guys. But the important thing what you should know is about the process transactions. Okay, and process transaction, as Vipul asked, like when to use finally, let me give you the live example. So once your process is done, everything right, in the try catch, if any error is there, based on that you can handle it. If it is a business exception, go for a business. If it is a normal exception, go for an exception. And if nothing is done, you have to set the transaction over the orchestrator. When I say set the transaction to over the orchestrator means, if your transaction goes successful, in that case you have to set the transaction that yeah, your queue item is success. And if not, in that case also you have to set the transaction um, that yeah, it is failed due to the business exception, or it is failed due to this application exception or system, whatever it is. Okay, so but you have to set the transaction. So that means it is a finally, it is a mandatory state. That's why it's a finally. That means it will execute always. Okay, so people do generally do ask you like where the set transaction status is present in your workflow. Then at that time you can directly go ahead and say it is in the process transaction, and that is to in the try catch block finally the set transaction status is present. Okay, and another important questions comes, what sort of changes one needs to do when I don't want to use queues, for example, in my project or process, right? In that case what I need to do is like, there is a variable called transaction item. Okay, so as per the queue item, you have to go ahead and change it to the data row. Okay, you can go ahead and type and browse as a data row, and you can select that. If you are using, if you're not using a queues, that might be, you might be using a data table, that might be you will be using a Excel file. If you're not at all using anything, then no need for transaction. You can even remove the get transaction state. You can directly add just init and the process and the end. But if you are using a data table, in that case transaction item, you have to change it as a data row, and there is an already a data table is there here, transaction data, that you can use further for your manipulations. Okay, so these sort of things people generally ask and like one should know. So like I'm good from my side. Do we have just 4 minutes left? So do you have any questions so you guys can ask? And
Rashmi,
Sandeep,
I have question.
huh?
I have read multiple job description related to UiPath. They ask about SOAP and REST API. Do you have knowledge?
Oh, okay. When people do ask about SOAP and REST API, SOAP is something people used to use before, and REST is something nowadays it's trending. Okay, everyone use the REST APIs, and so both are same. Both are used for the API for the testing and for getting the result from the API. So there is no much difference. But when it comes to like using that into the UiPath or the RPA, I guess HTTP requests do support the SOAP also or the REST API also. So when they are writing this, that means they clearly just want to know that you should have an idea about the APIs. Okay, and if you have the idea about APIs, then they might ask you in interview questions, what sort of activity do you use when it comes to API? You can go ahead and tell it's about HTTPS you have used or something like that. And SOAP and REST has nothing to do with it. It's just like you should have a knowledge of the API. That's it.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Rasmi, is there any question about document understanding?
Okay, document understanding. People nowadays people do ask like what is document understanding, and to be very frank, I have seen people when someone will ask document understanding, they will say yeah, we know about PDD and all. So there itself they will get that you don't know anything. So document understanding is a new feature of UiPath that helps you to get and extract the data from the PDFs. Okay, it has their own I would say like RE framework has their own structure, right? And the framework document understanding is also have their own framework, which they have few step taxonomy classifications and validations, or so whatsoever the line over there. So you can like go ahead and like read about that framework. What does taxonomy do, classifier do, and then your validation status do, and what sort of the form extractors are there, they do. That's it. But in depth they will not ask you, since very few organizations are doing it. But if you know the basics and overview also, that will also help you in the interview.
Okay.
Rashmi, I have created one two process in for demo using RE framework, but using YouTube videos, but it is difficult to understand to get used to RE framework, because normally it is so easy to use normal studio, but in same process we are going to do in RE framework, it is difficult to understand, getting to
I
used to.
got it. So I'll do one thing tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow. I'll just put a Zoom meeting again, and I'll explain you full RE framework with cues and without cues. Both we can discuss on that.
Okay.
Okay, that would be nice, Rasmi. If you attend, if you host a meeting for RE framework, that would be very helpful for us also.
Okay, cool. I'll do that. And guys, meeting is going to over in another 30 seconds. So
Okay.
if anything is there, you do write in the group. I'll help you guys. Okay. And it was nice connecting with you. And I do have the recording, so I'll do share. If any reference is anything, do let me know. Okay. Thanks for joining. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Rashmi. Bye bye.